Oh, I hear humming. And there's nothing. Oh. Oh, man, give me a break. No parameters. I purchased this 28-year-old CNC machine, and I have no idea if it runs. This is a 1997 Fadal VMC40 vertical machining center. It has the CNC 88 controller. I purchased this from a company that went out of business a year ago, and these machines were sitting there unpowered for a whole year. I purchased this one and that one right there. So we'll do a separate video on that one, see if it runs. As I stated in the beginning, I have no idea if this thing runs. I've opened up some of the cabinets. It looks pretty clean. Inside the cabinets look pretty clean. Inside of this cabinet looks pretty clean. And what I noticed about this is it has a 4th axis drive. So it's actually wired and has the cards for 4th axis. So everything looks good to me, but right off the bat, what I do notice with this machine that I have noticed with other machines that I got that I didn't know if they ran or not, is there's still tools in the spindle. And it wasn't blocked up when I got it. Usually they'll power them up, block the heads up, take the tools out, and they'll take the tools. This one is full of tools, as you can see here. So that's not a good sign. First things first, let's get some power and air to this thing. Flip the switch, see what happens. All right, I got air going to here. I got power going to here. Moment of truth. Let's see what happens. Oh, I hear humming. I hear something humming. So we got air pressure there. The fans are on in the cabinet, so that's a good sign. Fans are on here. We've got no power or anything to the drives, which I don't think we would. Now let's hit the CNC power button and see what happens. Okay, I heard some clicking. See if anything came on in the cabinet here. Yes, the drives are all flashing. Since that's all powered on, we just got to go to this main screen, and there's nothing. Okay, there's absolutely nothing on the screen. Oh no, come on. Okay, wait a second. So the light is on. So there's obviously power up here. The power light might not work. But the screen's not coming on. So either A, the screen went out, which is quite possible because it's an old CRT screen, or the switch right here maybe isn't working. So I still can't confirm if this machine runs. But maybe, let's try the jog button. Normally when you home these machines out, you have to line up these little pegs right here. So you got to line up that little mark with the center of that mark there. And then the same thing, there's a little mark on the side that you have to line up. And then right in the front, you also have to line up those marks. So this machine does allow you to jog without homing so that you can line those up. Let's do that. Let's hit jog. Okay, jog. And Z-axis. Oh! It's moving. No way. It's moving. Let's see why. Oh yeah. It sounds really good too. X. Nice. So now that I figured out that the screen is out, I actually have a screen that I bought either for another Fadal or another machine on Amazon that may work for this. Let me break that out and see if we can plug it into here, see if we can get it to work. So if any of you guys have ever replaced a CRT screen on a CNC machine or thought about replacing one and kind of priced it out, you'll see they're like anywhere from like $550 on up to thousands of dollars for these screens. You don't need that. All you really need is any screen that has a 4:3 ratio, which means it's square, like for security cameras and stuff like that, instead of being a rectangle. And they have to have the right connection for hooking up to an old CRT screen cable, which I believe is called a BNC cable. And you can get these screens any size you want. I got this one on Amazon, I think for like 90 bucks or something like that. I'll leave a link in the description below, but check it out. This is all you need. You don't need a $1,000, $600 screen. Now it is nice to have the kit that probably has a little bezel that goes in there, but you don't need that. This right here is all you need. This is what I got. And like I said, you can get these on Amazon, any size, shape you want. This is, I believe this is a 12-inch screen. But you can see in there it has the B and C connector. That right there is what you need to connect. And then your power cord. You just need 12 volts. And this comes with everything. This kit comes with all the connectors, remote, the B and C cable. It comes with pretty much everything you need. So let me open the back of this up and I'll show you. Guaranteed, this is what it looks like. There it is. So pretty much out of all this stuff, you probably need your 110 power. If I said 12 volt, I'm wrong. So what you'll need is your 110 power, which is probably this cable right here. And this is the BNC. This is where your communication is coming from right here. So you'll need this cable. So you need this cable and probably this. You can take this whole assembly out of here. So let me get all this CRT stuff pulled out of here and I'll bring you back. I got this whole assembly loose here. It was really easy. It was just 4 bolts like this. And they had nuts underneath them that were up under here. So I just unscrewed all those, unclipped this cable right here, and unclipped the BNC. And it's all real loose here, ready to come out. Boom, there it is. That's how easy it is to remove that CRT screen from this machine. I got that bezel taken off, and as you can see, this is where it was, and there was 4 tiny bolts holding it in. But if you check it out there, it's got pretty big bolt hole openings there. Now what I'm going to do is just make a plate this size right here, or a little bit bigger, and then hold it up to here, mark my holes, drill some holes in it, and then I'll mount my screen to that plate, and I'll be able to mount it all back up, just like that. Let me get that done, and I'll bring you back. Let me show you what I got. I just had a big sheet of this aluminum plate here, so I cut out the measurements right here. I taped it up where I want it, and then in the back here, what I'm going to do is just take my marker, mark inside each of those holes there, the points that I want to drill, and then I'm just going to drill those holes out, mount this plate in here like this. While I got it off, I'm also going to mount the plate where the TV will slide into. I'll leave a link in the description for that monitor below too, if you guys want to check it out. Let me get that done, I'll bring you back. So I got the screen panel done. You can see here, I chose this mount. Like I said, it has about 4 or 5 different mounting styles for the screen. You could flush mount it there. But what I did was just use these bolt holes, put the existing screws in there. I made these holes here for this mount, mounted this here, and what it does is just slide in. So then in the back, I actually tapped into the power. It was those wires that I told you guys, these right here. So I used the clip that was there. The ends had 3 coming off. I wired into the box here directly, and then I have my power going out. So there it is, a screen mounted. It was $91 for that screen. It wasn't $500, it wasn't $1,500. But now the moment of truth. Let's get this thing powered on. Hold the power button. Fingers crossed. So you see here I do have power. It's on HDMI. So there's this auto button here. You hit the auto and then it goes through this. And I think we want B and C. And then you hit OK. Let's see if I have it. Boom, there it is. Works perfect. Except, oh man, give me a break. No parameters or parameters corrupted. You must enter the setup command. Wow. So the battery must have died and it lost parameters. Normally on any other CNC machine I've messed with, Haas's, Makinos, stuff like that, Mazaks in particular, if that happens, you're pretty much screwed without a backup disc. Now, I'm not too versed in those like I am Fadal's. Like I said, I know a lot about Fadal's. In Fadal's, in the back of the control cabinet, they always put the parameters. Check it out. Here it is. So here's all the parameters. They're right here. And here's the backlash settings from the factory. So what you do is go into parameters and enter all these, and you got your parameters back, just like when it came from the factory. But I'm not going to do that because if it lost parameters, that means more than likely the battery's dead. So I do think that I happen to have a battery that will work for this. I'll have to dig it out and look. I have a lot of spare parts from a lot of machines. As you guys know, I buy and sell and I use machines. So I do have a lot of parts, and I believe I have a battery for this. I ended up having a correct battery that I need. For now, let's dig into here and get this card out. If you take this jumper off here, it's one of these cards here. And look on the sides here. There it is. So it's the first board in the line. Let's see if I can get this out with one hand. Ah, there we go. There it is. There's the memory battery right there. And honestly, that looks like a newer battery. That's not the one that comes from the factory. So my guess is that it's been replaced, and maybe just because it sat for so long, that battery died. And maybe if I let the machine run for a while, that would charge back up, but I'm not gonna risk it over, you know, like, I think it's 10 bucks for the battery. But so I ordered this battery through McMaster-Carr a while ago for another machine. I never used it. And this is the correct battery, you can see here. So that should just solder right into that board. What you gotta do is back here, just where these solder in, like right here and right here. You have to unsolder those. And then these have wires on either end. You stick the wires through there, solder them, and then you know, cut the ends off, and then you're ready to go. Let me get my soldering iron heated up, get this installed, we'll get it back in. So there it is, new battery installed, old one off. So like I said, all I did was heat those tabs up, pull this one out, put the two ends back in there, solder it back on the back. That's it. So I'm gonna get this reinstalled, and then we'll start entering the parameters. It took me quite a while and a bunch of different attempts, but I finally got the parameters back in this machine. Let me show you guys. So you can see here, I just started it back up, and there's nothing here saying that we've lost parameters or your data's corrupted or anything like that. So let's do a cold start, 9. Boom. I don't know if you guys can hear it or see it, but it jogged around a little bit. And boom, we're back to the cold start position. So I haven't ran it yet. All I've done is taken a tool out of the spindle just so I could see if I could get it in and out of there. Let's turn the spindle on and see what it sounds like. All right, let's go into MDI 3, M3 speed. Let's start slow. 500, enter. It says waiting. Let's hit this. There it goes. Sounds pretty good at 500. I don't want to go too crazy because I want to warm it up a little bit, but I do want to see if it changes belts. I believe belts from low to high gear change around 3,000 RPM, so let's bump it up here a little bit. Speed 2,000. Let's see what that sounds like. Spindle sounds pretty healthy. All right, so let's see if it'll change belts and change gears. S3000. That should make it stop, change gears up top. It'll switch between the two belts and go into a higher gear. Nice. So let's go M5 and stop that. That sounds pretty good. Let's actually jog the axis around. You want to jog here? Oh yeah, that sounds smooth. Y. Yeah, that sounds nice and smooth. Nice. I think I may have scored on this one. So let's see what happens when we do a tool change. That's the main reason I took that tool out of there, so I could do a tool change. Make sure everything's correct with that. M6T2. It says tool 1 is in the spindle, so enter. Okay, I didn't hit enter. Duh. Okay, let's see what happens. Goes up. Whoa. Okay, I had to emergency stop that. That went way too low into the tool changer. Let's see if we can get these axes to turn back on here. That sucked back in. Okay, so that was not ideal. I'm not sure what happened with that. I know the cold start position is correct because it did go over to where it would do the perfect tool change, but I don't know why the head dropped down like that and pushed on the tool carousel. I'm wondering if for some reason I might have to take the encoder off that motor because it's a DC motor and maybe twist it up some I don't know. This one I'm kind of stumped on. So let me do this. I do know the owner of Fadal. He's a pretty good friend of mine. He's the reason that I run Fadal's now. And for those of you who don't know, yes, Fadal is still in business. You can still buy machines from them. Really good machines. You can still get parts for these legacy machines, and you can also still get support for these. So let me try to see if I can get him on a phone, and maybe we can both learn something. I'm working on this machine that I was telling you that I got in, that MC40. And so I got everything, all the parameters back in it and everything works fine. But when I do a tool change, the tool changer comes in at the perfect height. It does the M19 it references. It comes in to do the tool change, and then all of a sudden the Z-axis just drops while it's over the tool changer. Yeah, it actually, so when the tool carousel will come over to do a tool changer, and it's at the correct height, and then I don't know, 2 seconds after that, the Z-axis just drops down into it just pushes down on the carousel, and I had to like emergency stop it.
What that is somehow it's got the e-proms that are acting up.
Okay.
So what you can do is swap the Z with the X and Y, or the Z with the Y.
Okay.
Controller cards.
Okay.
The thing is there's a jumper called, I think it's J4, and it's just like there's solder to it. It's like a black e-prom with looks like solder joints soldered to it.
Okay.
So it's that little board that you can, so you can actually just pull that off. Oh yeah, it does come off. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you pull that off, but remember it's got to be the same direction.
Okay.
You know, when you put it back on.
Okay. Let me. What's the one right next to it? Is it X or Z or X or Y?
It goes Z is 11, Y is 10, X is 9.
Okay. Oh yeah. See, the jumpers are different. Okay.
Replace them because now on that's an older set of cards.
2. And cycle 7.
Jack button.
Okay.
And see if we can put the machine in jack.
Yep. It's resetting the axis. The tool chart went back, and we are in jog.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, but what's weird is before we switched the axis cards, when I did a tool changer, it was at the perfect height. When I did a tool change, like it sat at the perfect height.
It's not the tool changer. The tool changer is pushed down.
It's sticking below it. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So then you know that it's jammed down.
Yeah, it's jammed down, yeah. Okay, so that was a lot more work than I expected it to be. I ended up talking to the owner of Fadal for 3 hours straight on the phone. He walked me through a bunch of stuff on this, besides for like the cards that you guys saw. This is where I'm at with it right now. The problem was the Z-axis, as you saw, was dropping down when it was going to do a tool change. So I changed those cards around, and what happened was one of the times that the Z-axis had went down into the tool changer, it actually compressed these springs right here, and it compressed them so far there's a bearing inside this block, and it pulled the bearing halfway out. So the actual bottom of the tool changer right here is hanging low, and that's why it wouldn't match up to the spindle. So what I had to do was take all the covers off, this one and that one, and I had to take the motor off. I had to take all this tool changer apart, and I had to take all this apart, and I had to press that bearing back in there with my vise. In the end, I finally got it all back together. Like I said, it took me a lot longer than expected. I waited to try it for when I was recording for you guys so we could see if it was actually fixed or not. I'm gonna put some power to it, some air to it, and see if it actually works. All right, I got the power turned on, I got the air hooked up. Let's flip the switch, turn this thing on, and see if we fixed it. All right, press any key to continue. Let's do a cold start. There we go. Let me pop this tool out of the tool holder here. All right, this is the moment of truth. Let's go into MDI 3. Let me actually turn the spindle on. M3 speed 700. Enter. There it goes. Sounds really good too. Let's go speed 1000. Oh yeah, sounds great. Okay, let's go with the M5. Okay, now M6. It says tool 1's in there. Tool 7. Let's see if we'll get it to work. Got to keep my finger on emergency stop just in case it goes down again. Hopefully this fixed it. Fingers crossed. Oh, there it went. It went up instead of down. Wow. There it goes, boom. Perfect tool change. It's fixed. Man, having that help from Troy, the owner of Fadal, is invaluable. So now you guys know if you're ever looking at Fadals, don't hesitate. You can get service, you can get help. Even if you don't know the owner, you can call in. There's someone that can help you. I'll walk you through a lot of this stuff right here. Okay, so let's go through the whole sequence with the tool in the spindle just to make sure everything's working right. Works great. Now let's do an M5 to stop that. Let's do an M6 tool 4. Let's see what happens. Should orient. Go in. Boom. Perfect. So that's it. I think it was a major score. It was quite a bit of work to get this thing running again. I'm not going to enter programs and machine with it right now. What I want to do is I'm going to order the Cow Motion drip feed box and install it, and I want to do a separate video on that. So when I do that, be on the lookout for that video because I will do some actual machining from Fusion 360 to this machine, drip feed to this machine, and actually do some machining and check all the tolerances and stuff at that point. But right now, it's a usable CNC machine. I paid next to nothing for it. Yeah, it had some problems, and I worked through them, got it fixed. You can too. If you're thinking about picking up an older machine and it's a really, really good deal and you've got the time to mess with it, I'd say don't hesitate to do it, because the more you work on a machine, the more you learn about it and the more you're able to fix it in the long run. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give this video a thumbs up, give me a follow, go back and check out some of my other content. I really appreciate all the support. See you guys on the next one.